P.E. Lawrence, also known as Lawrence of Arabia, is a name that has become synonymous with the Arab Revolt and the former Ottoman Empire. Lawrence played a significant role in the First World War, where he collaborated with the Arab tribes in their fight against the Ottomans. But Lawrence's influence extends far beyond that. He was one of the primary architects of the Middle East's division and the subsequent geopolitical instability that has plagued the region. Lawrence's actions not only directly contributed to the current state of affairs in the Middle East, but also highlighted the complex nature of colonialism, where the pursuit of power interests can lead to devastating consequences. His activities also contributed to the fragmentation of the Muslim Ummah. Born in Wales in 1888, he went on to study at Oxford University before joining the army. It was during the First World War that Lawrence's life took a dramatic turn. He joined the British Military Intelligence Service as an archaeologist and was later tasked with assisting the Arab tribes in their revolt against the Ottomans. Lawrence arrived in the Arabian Peninsula in 1916 and began building networks with the Arab tribes that were fighting against the Ottomans. It was after the Arab Revolt that Lawrence's role in history takes a complex turn. Lawrence was aware of the various tribal and religious differences among the Arabs and used his understanding of these differences to execute his plan. Following the end of the war, the Ottoman Empire was dismantled into smaller territories, and the Arab lands were divided. This division of the Arab world was a direct result of the Sykes-Picot Agreement, a secret treaty between the British and the French, which laid out their plans to divide the Ottoman Empire's territories in the Middle East. Lawrence played a pivotal role in implementing this agreement, using his position of influence to manipulate Arab leaders into agreeing to the terms laid out in the treaty. Lawrence's actions directly led to the division of the Arab world into smaller nations, which has contributed to the region's instability to this day. The Arab nationalism that Lawrence helped to cement as part of the establishment of these new Middle East territories shifted Muslims away from their religious identity to a more secular, nationalistic one. His actions also exacerbated tensions between Sunnis and Shiites. During the Arab Revolt, Lawrence allied with members of the Hashemite dynasty, who were Sunni Muslims. As the Ottomans collapsed, Lawrence supported the installation of Hashemite leaders in newly created Arab states, such as Iraq and Syria, which would eventually form the modern nation-state of Jordan. The Hashemites were seen as a threat by the Shiite minority in these areas, who had been disenfranchised under Ottoman rule, which sowed the seeds of the future sectarian conflict. Moreover, Lawrence's activities in promoting the Hashemites as leaders of the Arab world also ran counter to the pan-Islamic vision of other Muslim leaders of the time, such as the Ottoman Caliphate. The main rival of the Hashemites was the House of Saud, which adhered to the Wahhabi interpretation of Sunni Islam. The Sauds and their allies saw the Hashemites as suffering from a lack of Islamic piety and promoting divisive nationalism instead of Islamic unity. Lawrence's support for the Hashemites therefore further entrenched the divisions between Sunni and Shiites, as well as between different factions of Sunni Islam. Another way in which Lawrence's actions divided the Muslim Ummah was by creating new boundaries without regard for traditional cultural or ethnic boundaries. The arbitrary creation of new states in the Arab world led to ethnic groups and tribes being separated from each other, which led to conflicts over resources and territory. This is particularly evident in Iraq, where Sunnis, Shiites, and Kurds were brought together under one state, leading to future conflicts over governance and autonomy. Additionally, Lawrence's attempts to promote Arab nationalism over pan-Islamic unity were a key factor in dividing the Muslim community. The Arab Revolt which Lawrence helped to orchestrate, sought to create a unified Arab state independent of Ottoman rule. However, this goal was at odds with the ideals of pan-Islamic unity promoted by other Muslim leaders of the time, such as the Caliphate. The creation of Arab states led to the subordination of Islam as the dominant identity. It replaced it with nationalism, which further fragments the Muslim world today, as we see more and more regional or nationalistic ideologies that separate Muslims from one another. Finally, Lawrence's overall actions in the Middle East, even if well-intentioned, were carried out on behalf of the British Empire, and thus served to undermine the sovereignty and self-determination of the people of the region, even where his activities produced immediate independence, such as the Arab Revolt. His support led to the creation of regimes that were beholden to European powers. This had long-term consequences. It has perpetuated instability in the Middle East and resulted in the rise of authoritarian and unpopular regimes that have been imposed from outside. Colonial powers needed entrenched divisions drawn among Muslims to ensure their prolonged hold on territories where they occupied. With the divide and rule approach, they could manipulate smaller groups and maintain overall control over the region. This resulted in a significant shift away from religious values, and the effects of this can still be felt today. In conclusion, while Lawrence of Arabia's actions played a key role in the downfall of Ottoman rule in the Arab world, this should not obscure the deep divisions and tensions that resulted from this intervention. Lawrence's support for the Hashemites over other factions, his creation of new national boundaries, his promotion of Arab nationalism over pan-Islamic unity, and his contribution to British imperial control all contributed to the fragmentation of the Muslim Ummah. This fragmentation continues to shape the region and its conflicts today, underlining the importance of thinking carefully about the implications of foreign intervention in the internal affairs of Muslims, especially if the intervention supports a particular group over others or enforces ideological boundaries from outside. Introducing One for Kids TV, the #1 rated Islamic children's app in the world. Get ready for a world of fun, education, and value-based entertainment. Join thousands of families worldwide who have rated it as a top app for Muslim children and embark on an exciting journey of learning and fun. Download the One for Kids TV app now from the Apple, Google, and Amazon stores today.